Hello everyone, nice to see you again. In this tutorial, I will explain about layer and track. Actually, in Premiere Pro, we mostly call it track rather than layer. But since they are quite similar concept, let's understand the overall idea and see how editors use these features. Let's get started. So basically, layers let you combine different things in your image, whether it's text, shape, or other objects that overlap. In this image, we have 5 layers. You can imagine them as see-through glass layers on top of each other. When they are stacked on top of each other, they appear to be flat. So this is the image that I created for my YouTube thumbnail. As you can see, I have created a bunch of layers, but basically when you open Photoshop, you begin with the canvas. And what I created next was the background layer. And after that, I create a text layer. Well, in this case, it's more like typography, but I create a text layer. And then I add an image layer. I use a clipping mask to isolate this person. Did I say that right? And lastly, I create a line shape layer. So we have many types of layers. And in order to help you understand what a layer is, I would like to show you this. So this is the image that I show you in Photoshop. And once again, these layers are stacked on top of each other, creating the appearance of a flat image. But if you pull them apart, let me demonstrate by pulling them apart. As you can see, this is how it's structured. The Photoshop layers you saw earlier essentially looks like this. As you can see, this is canvas, this is a background, and this is for the text layer, and this is for the image layer, and we have a shape layer. It's not really visual, but it's there. So we can see in different view. So yes, this one it's about right here. Yes, but for the visual purpose, I put it here. So that's how layers are stacked on top of each other. This is what's happening within the layer. So the layers work together to make the final image. There are many types of layers in Photoshop: background layer, text layer, image layer, and shape layer. These layers are quite easy to understand. They hold things like text, picture, shapes, or even the main image. And then we also have something called an adjustment layer. Adjustment layers are a little different. Adjustment layers are used to change colors and effects without damaging the original. So let me create an adjustment layer. It says create a new fill or adjustment layer. If you click that, then we can create an adjustment layer. For example, let's create a hue and saturation layer. If I place it right at the top, everything underneath gets affected by it. So for that, let's try it. As you can see, the color changes. And if I drag this down into here, then only background will change, right? For the adjustment layer, anything underneath will be affected by it. So if I change it, the background is changing. It's pretty cool, right? So in this example, we have a hue and saturation adjustment layer, which change the color below the adjustment layer. Adjustment layers are a type of non-destructive editing, meaning they don't actually change anything about the original image. They just sit on top. So all we did is that we add an adjustment layer, and if you want everything to change, we just put it on top of it. Then the color will be affected by it. If I just want the background or the text layer, then I put it in the middle. So you might be wondering, why do we make lots of layers instead of just using one? Isn't it easier to work with everything on just one single layer? Well, the truth is, layers are useful because you can work with them independently. That gives you a lot more flexibility and control. As an example, I like animation. If you watch how artists draw characters for animation, they start by making a rough sketch on a layer of a white background layer. Then they create another layer for the final line or line art. And once again, they create a new layer for coloring. Eventually, all these layers stack up to form a complete illustration. Because of this, artists often create many layers to work on details like brightness, lines, and color. Making a lot of layers like this to create a single image is also called composition. Composition is a process of creating a seamless picture by putting different layers together. We will learn more about this in the future. So the layers are commonly used in still image like Photoshop or Illustrator. However, we are using Premiere Pro, which edits moving pictures, not still ones. So the picture layer plus the time equal video track. It's like adding time to a layer. Let's look at Premiere Pro. We have a video track and an audio track. As you can see, this V stands for video track and this A stands for audio track. So a video track is kind of like a layer, but with the added dimension of time. It's a way to organize things not just on top of each other, but also over a period of time. So I can bring this guy, and this is gonna be our picture layer. Well, more precisely, it's gonna be vector layer, but to point out, we can add picture on top of the video. So let's create a text layer for this one. Cute dog. And as you can see, we create a text layer. And also, let's create an adjustment layer. If we go here, new item, and click adjustment layer. And we can create it based on our video. And we click and drag here. And if we drag it to evolve, it will create another new track. So you see, it creates a new track, and this is adjustment layer. Now, if you look at the adjustment layer, there's nothing going on. We have a motion and stuff, but even if you do change the value, as you see, I change the value, it doesn't change anything. But if we add effect, let's go for Lumetri color. Lumetri color is most used for color correction. Let's apply to Lumetri in adjustment layer. If you check this, if we go underneath, then this is basically contain everything about color changing. Color wheels and everything is here. We can change the color and stuff. And watch what happens here. I'm gonna change the color. Let's see that. And did you notice? I changed the color. I can add highlight and shadow. And this is before adding adjustment layer. And eventually I add color effect. And as you can see, this just works like a layer, isn't it? But also with the time. So it relates to time. So to make my point, we can be creative. We can make it color change throughout the time. And this is just to show you example what's going on. I can also show you this. Now it's covered, isn't it? But it is actually underneath. So if I decrease opacity, as you can see, the rest layer do exist. Usually in the layer, we see on top of it. We see the top view, and that's the problem. But if we decrease the size, they are actually underneath it. And as you can see, this rectangle kind of like a layer, isn't it? For audio, it's different. All audio tracks work the same. There's no hierarchy, just adjust the levels. So let's overview. A layer means something that you put on top of other things. It's like stacking different parts to make something complete. The process of creating a seamless picture by putting different layers together is called composition. A track is like a layer, but with the added dimension of time. It's a way to organize things not just on top of each other, but also over a period of time, like in a video or animation. Composition involves stacking layers to create a smooth and unified appearance, whether it is for a picture or a video. It's like putting together a piece of puzzle to make everything looks like it belongs together. We're gonna go through more about composition, but for now, the concept is that we create a layer, so we make a seamless picture or seamless video. And that's about it. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.